Growing up, whitewashed. I'm a British third generation Indian immigrant, and to be honest, I've always grown up a little bit embarrassed by my Indian.
So I'm doing a part 2 to this because I feel like there's a lot still that I didn't talk about. Look how iconic this top is. It's stained. Yeah, anyway. Part 2 of growing up whitewashed and things that I massively missed out on. So again, another running joke in the family was that, like, I don't have the attention span to watch a film, which is true. Unless I'm really engaged in a film, I don't tend to watch it because I have ADHD. However, I actively avoided any type of Indian film. Bearing in mind these are like 2 hours long. And I used to watch them when we go to India because they'd have like an interval and it'd be fun in the cinema. But if it was at home, I'd actively avoid it, which is really sad. So I missed all the big classics like Queen, Three Idiots, Bunty and Bubbly, like all of these really iconic Indian films. All my family talk about now, like my cousins, my sisters, they know all the Bollywood actors and actresses. And I feel so left behind. But again, I chose to actively disengage from that because nobody at school was talking about it. Nobody knew what they were. Nobody knew who these actresses were. And then I thought, okay, well, if I watch it, I'm going to get, like, obsessed with it, and then I won't have anything to talk about with my friends, or if I do, I look like a weirdo. So, unfortunately, due to that, actively avoided, which also meant I missed out on all the really iconic Bollywood songs, which I'm only just learning now. Like, going through all the playlists now, my cousin's made, like, a Bhangra one, and a Bollywood one, and, like, a Bollywood slow jams. I've realised how many iconic films and iconic songs I have missed out on. The one film I did watch is Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, and I feel like neglecting my culture for so long really gave me like a deep sadness. So when I went to uni, when I was missing home, I would watch the film and I would just sit there and sob. Like, it's an emotional film anyway, but it made me like so sad because obviously it's heavily focused on like family dynamics and respecting your mum and dad, and it made me really sad because I feel like I'd not respected my mum by disengaging in the culture that she worked so hard to bring over and make us proud of. And it made, like, every time I watch that film, it hits me deep. Another film I'm obsessed with is Bend It Like Beckham, and I think I'm obsessed with it because it was British Asian, so it was like South also, it wasn't heavily Bollywood. And again, I felt very seen and heard through like Jess and her being called the P word and her having to do things differently to fit in than her like white friends. So those were the two films that I could like fuck with. The other ones I'd had to disassociate from, which is really sad because I missed so many iconic films, which I'm now trying to catch up on. The second thing is, and I've spoken about this before, was learning Punjabi. So, because we grew up in a white area, mum and dad kind of actively made the decision not to teach us it because we already looked different, so they didn't want us to stick out anymore. Like, we've had dark features, dark hair, dark eyes. Like, they already thought, okay, well, we don't need to stick out anymore. And they didn't want our English to get mixed up either. Especially, again, as my mum had come over here and worked so hard to learn, like, you wouldn't be able to tell that she'd come from India. Like, her English is so good. So they didn't want us to get confused. But now, like, obviously seeing Indian family, my aunties, my grandparents, my cousins are over there, and it's so frustrating, especially my grandparents. Like, my cousins have learned English, but my grandparents, I can barely communicate with them, and I love them so much, but it makes me so sad every time I do speak to them because I don't know what to say. Like, I wish I'd learned it when I was younger. And as you get older, most of you will know language is a lot harder to learn. So that's another thing that we missed out on, which is really, really sad. One thing I'm going to hopefully learn in the future, I'm going to get Duolingo, and I don't know if they do like Urdu or Punjabi on there, and just see if I can try and pick up some bits, because I want my kids to know these as well. Like, I want my kids to be able to speak some of it, honor some of the words, and carry on the culture. Another thing I will say growing up whitewashed is I fucked my hair up so badly. So a lot of Asian people are very much blessed with like beautiful, thick, long, dark, naturally dark, like reddy tones hair. And because all my friends growing up all had like blonde hair and brown hair, and that was kind of the beauty standard, I, from uni, then went and like bleached the shit out of my hair, constantly had highlights in. I've always tried to make it lighter. But when I was younger, I had such thick, like gorgeous, like thick hair, which we used to coconut oil every like weekend, mum would put oil in our hair and it made it so healthy. So that's another thing I've done that's fucked me up. But I will say I don't mind the blonde, and it does look cute, and obviously it's going with like the new modern culture, but kind of do wish I'd never dyed my hair in the first place because I had beautiful black hair. I do talk about this a lot, but like despite this, as I got to uni, I made Indian friends, tried to get in touch with my culture again as much as possible, and really made a conscious effort to learn. And I think lockdown was a big thing for me to sit there and reflect and think, you actually don't need to be embarrassed by it. Like my family, most of us have the tattoo, and I have that. Oh, where is it? Like little traditions like that I want to carry on, like actively learning about the meaning of like Diwali, Holi, like today's Navratri, which is a celebration of the women god and women around you, so learning about that and taking a real interest. And I feel like I'm healing my inner child, so anyone else who's feeling the same, reach out to someone who is interested in your culture and heal that inner child.